Lasal attempts for the first time here in the Final Four. Unsuccessful, and T.Y. Tang will be joined by Joseph Yo, Junjun Cabatu, Ryan Aranya, J.R. Aquino, and Joseph Yo able to get it up and in for the first 2 points of the ball game.
Well, expect Lasal's players, specifically Joseph Yo, who does a good job penetrating, to attack because of the absence in the starting lineup of Japet Aguilar. This is the big adjustment on the part of Coach Norman Black, is bringing Japet off the bench.
JC and Tal. Couple of possessions of Ateneo going at JC. That one is a forced shot. And JC always has a hard time against Ryan Aranya. Even he admitted that. Talking about Intal, he admitted that Ryan Aranya is his most challenging matchup here in the UAAP.
Well, Ryan Aranya really does a good job scouting the individual tendencies of JC Intal. But if we take a look at least the point of attack of Coach Norman Black, he wants JC Intal to get into the scoring parade early. In fact, JC took the first 2 attempts of Ateneo, but unfortunately, his second shot was pretty much like a turnover. So a bad shot is close to a turnover, and you expect Lasal to really score on fast breaks if situations like that happens a lot of times.
Well, a minute gone by. Joseph Yo, first 2 points of the game. Well, the atmosphere here at the Big Dome is self-explanatory. You don't need to hype up a game like this. Actually, you don't need to hype up the Final Four here in the UAAP. The ball will remain with the white shirts. They are undefeated against Ateneo, and they would like to keep it that way. Right, Mickey Della? She's joining us for our Samsung Courtside update.
Right, Boom. The Final Four is the time of the UAAP season, and all the motivational lines are dug up and used. And the best line to encapsulate what the Archers are going through right now comes from the film Coach Carter, which says, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond measure. And that power is the magnitude of the Archers' heart. With Ateneo fighting for survival, the Archers anticipate a tough battle ahead to help them focus. A mass was held for them yesterday, wherein team solidarity and integrity were the underlying themes. On a festive note, Archer co-cap T.Y. Tang celebrates his birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday. What a great birthday gift for T.Y. Tang if they can come up with a win today. Thank you very much, Mickey Delis. In the meantime, Joseph Yo, like a predator today, on attack mode, and Jun Cabatu, great recognition on the cut, giving it up to the Ninja, and he reunites with the 15-foot line, which hasn't been a sweet relationship so far here in the first quarter. He has missed his 3rd free throw in a row, Ryan.
That's right, and it doesn't speak well, at least on the prowess of Joseph Yo, but this time, on his 4th attempt, he finally nails one. And this is the game plan of Coach Franz. It has been the same game plan since game 1. They will press right after they make a basket.
It's the same game plan for the last 8 years,
yes.
Ryan. What are you talking about?
That's right.
L.A. Tenorio now, the man who has to deliver for Coach Norman Black. He has had a miserable time against LaSalle here in season 68.
Well, he's been a marked man, make no mistake about it. Every time L.A. Tenorio handles that leather, 2 guys at least will always collapse him. But Ryan Aranya, way back in game 2, he sizzled with 18 big points, Boom, and now he's starting on the right foot once again.
He may not shoot a lot from that area.
Ateneo Blue Eagles, Boom and Ryan, today's game is extremely important, not only because it is a chance at payback against the De La Salle Green Archers, but also because if the boys lose today's game, then they can kiss their chances for the finals goodbye. At this point, it is no longer a question of who is the more talented squad, but of who will play today with more heart. Coach Norman Black told me that during their previous games with La Salle, the Archers shot ahead early on, and the Eagles weren't able to catch up. So today, the team must meet the Archers physically from the start. At last night's send-off match for the boys, as well as for the Eaglets and Lady Eagles, who are all in the Final Four, co-captains L.A. Tenorio and Magnum Embrera promised the Ateneo community one heck of a showdown. Boom.
Congratulations to Leah, the rest of the Ateneo community for the wins, but of course you want it to be complete with this one. Now, what was going on, Ryan? While Leah was reporting, there was commotion on that Ateneo bench.
Well, I heard the tail end of the Barker. It was a warning, I think, on one of the players for taunting from the Ateneo bench.
All right, that was a Smart Buddy 3. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. LA Tenorio, T.Y. Tang, the double team on LA. He forces the action, wanted to draw the foul. He takes it away from Aquino. Kramer off to LA.
LA Tenorio starting like a house on fire. 4 big points already. It's a great way to start the ball game if your best player starts scoring.
And he averages 2 steals a game. He takes one from J.R. Aquino. And 6-4 is our count. LaSalle still ahead. And a turnover for De La Salle. And there is so much emotion already in the opening minutes of this game. First, let's check out this Polo shot block. Brought to you by Polo. Life's a whole lot cooler with Polo. It's not going to be easy for either team today. Mackey goes up, but not in. And Cabatu, the best rebounder for LaSalle, averaging 7.2, gets his first one today. Cabatu against Intal. Aranya from 15, that's short. And Tenorio tracks down that loose ball. 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and I'm already sweating like hell. Tenorio thought about it. They go to JC. Another outside jumper. This one's short. JC is 0 out of 3 from the field so far. Aranya cops out, does the wise thing, but then he reverses, cuts the angle. Yo picks up the loose ball. The referees are letting the players play today, Ryan.
Oh yes, a lot of contact, but the referees refusing to blow that whistle.
And to the dismay of that green crowd that you saw, akala yata nila may pito eh. Well, when you're a player, you can't anticipate the whistle. You have to go strong, whatever the case. And if a foul is called, then a foul is called, but can't anticipate that there will be a whistle.
That's right, but the problem is usually, boom, in an environment like this, you always tell your players, don't stop until you hear the whistle. But how can you hear the whistle, boom, kung ganito kaingay yung crowd mo?
Nagreklamo ka yata, Ryan. Are you complaining? Ball with LaSalle. Cabatu pulls up. Awkward looking shot. And Aquino and Kramer bustling for the rebound, and the foul is called on Doug Kramer. Kramer's first personal fouls. 2 turnovers for De La Salle so far, none for Ateneo. And 2 turnover points for Ateneo. And we say this because this is a stat that I'm sure, Ryan, you want to keep track of.
Well, definitely. It was obvious in the first 2 games. If we were to summarize those 2 wins by LaSalle, it was the turnovers committed by Ateneo and the forced turnover points scored by LaSalle. So at least now, Ateneo is doing the right thing. They're forcing turnovers from LaSalle. Count 3 because of this 3rd turnover by LaSalle. So pretty much yung game plan pointing to the side of Coach Norman Black.
Well, we talked about this during the pregame, Ryan. Regardless of all the disadvantages and the odds stacked up against Ateneo, they have really got to dig down deep today and believe that they can win at least one.
Oh, definitely. It has to be a mental game at this point, and the psychological advantage, of course, is on the side of LaSalle. But boom, you have to look at it on the proper perspective. Ateneo can approach this game thinking that this is a best of 3 and they just lost game 1. So whatever happens, they need 2. So ganun ang nangyayari dyan. Kung ganun ang thinking mo, they will be...
Blue versus green. Senator Ralph Recto joining us here at the Araneta Coliseum. The Trillos in attendance. Wearing green, obviously. Enrico Villanueva also cheering on some of his former teammates. And Felicitas Francisco of the UAAP board also here by our side in attendance for Final Four action between Ateneo and LaSalle. We're glad to have you with us live on Studio 23. Cabatu hesitated and is unable to get it to stay down. So we are 6-4, Ryan. Been a while as you look at the rebounds. LaSalle lording it over so far. LA as Japet comes into the ball game. LA against Joseph Yo, trying to outmaneuver him. A tap from June Cabatu. The ball stays with Blue with 5 seconds to shoot, but it's a good sign that LA is very aggressive today.
Oh yes, we have not seen that, especially in game 2. But today is really going after that ball, is taking those shots, but sometimes yung ill-advised shots yun ang nagiging detrimental
Well,
dito sa success ng Ateneo.
Shot clock was down to 4. I guess he decided as he takes away the ball from Joseph Yo the second time around here in the game. Tenorio pulls up. That's short. Takes it back. But J.R. Aquino takes it away, and Aaron Aranya says enough is enough. Ahead of the pack is June Cabatu. Cabatu skies.
Wow! Great body control and upper body strength for Jun Cabatu.
What a
He
finish.
had to elude those defensive arms. And the score on those fast break attempt.
Maki Escalona, nowhere to go. LA has attempted, hasn't really found the mark yet today. He's trying to set up his teammates as he is pushed away by Ryan Aranya. Let's check out first a steal by LA Tenorio. Brought to you by Samsung. With Samsung, it's not hard to imagine.
Magnum Embreres seeing action for the first time and egging the Ateneo crowd to really go and celebrate, because this is a chance for them to redeem some lost glory, Boom. And this is their only chance of doing so in today's game.
Well, if you compare the first two games, and you look back at the first two games, Ryan, it's imperative for Ateneo not to get LaSalle into that hot start that they usually get into. The first and the second game, same story. They got buried at the start. Maybe the second game was a little bit closer, but then eventually LaSalle was able to pull away.
Well, they also have to look at a different direction at this point. Mainly, when they were going up against LaSalle in the first two games, they might have thought, or they were really working on their offense. But the thing is, if you stop the offensive options of LaSalle and not allow them to score as many baskets, they will not be able to do their fast break or their full court pressing defense. So yun ang ginagawa ngayon ng Ateneo. Focusing on defense, not allowing LaSalle to score easy baskets.
How about Japet Aguilar forcing a turnover on T.Y. Tang? That's how long those arms are.
And did you see him dive for that loose ball, Bo?
Yes.
Tim is not 6'7".
So far, as we look at JV Casio on our Addict Mobile substitution board, Addict Mobile prepaid, now you're in. Turnovers creeping up on LaSalle. Tenorio drives, sets up Kim Son. He will not take it from there. 16 on the shot clock. Kim Son underneath, unable to get it to stay down. It is so tough to get inside. Aquino, Japet all over him, and is called for a foul. And if you're J.R. Aquino or any other LaSalle player, chances of you getting blocked are high, so you've got to go hard.
That's correct, and you just have to admire the toughness of J.R. Aquino.
Body
strong.
Body tinawagan. That's we all caught that on our Smart Buddy Instant Replay. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. The first personal on Japet Aguilar.
I'm sure LaSalle knows it. For as long as they go strong against Japet Aguilar, it's almost second nature for Japet to try to block
Or change the shot.
change the shot. So if you just go aggressive and get him into foul trouble, it will be easier for LaSalle to attack the basket later if he languishes on the bench. Of course, we're talking about Japet Aguilar.
And they really want to run, talking about LaSalle, because they don't want that Ateneo defense to set up. And when Japet is in there, as Casio takes it away but runs out of space, when Japet is in there, he usually just is the best help side defense here in the UAAP.
That's right.
Addict Mobile substitution. Mark Benitez now coming in. Addict Mobile prepaid now. You're in. 3:30 to play in the first quarter. And Ateneo, so far, only with 4 points to show. While LaSalle 9. Not a pretty first quarter for both teams, especially for JC Intal, who has missed all of his 4 shots. Aranya, nagmamadali. Japet picking it up. And they cop out and reset the table. Aranya. Almost another steal completed by JC. Tenorio against JV. They go to the other side, and a nice fake by Magnum Embreres. They are forcing the turnovers. Senator Mar Rojas and Corina Sanchez here. Big Dome, Senator Jingo Estrada also with us, all in attendance. Rich Alvarez, all understanding the importance of this game, whether you're from LaSalle or you're from Ateneo. For Ateneo, you win this one, you survive, and get in one more. If you're LaSalle, you go to the finals and try to defend the crown that you've had for 1 full year. Tenorio has no turnovers in the game, Ryan, so far.
He's trying to control that leather. He knows the importance of it, and he's trying to make his teammates get involved on the offense.
Aranya with his 3rd rebound of the game as Membrere misfires from downtown. Coming up on the 2-minute mark of this very long first quarter. Later and Aranya getting it on, and the aggression foul called on Ryan Aranya.
First, there's no love lost between Ryan Aranya and the rest of the Ateneo squad.
No kidding.
Remember, in game 2, boom, when the outcome was pretty much settled, Aranya did a little jiggy. So it's definitely still in the minds of every Atenean here in the Araneta Coliseum, and also the people watching on their television sets. So talagang kasama yan. Itong si Ryan Aranya will be a marked man as well.
As always. Whether he does the jiggy or not, really. Seriously. 9-6, Ateneo still behind by 3. And LA holding on, clutching onto that spheroid for a very long time. Now makes his move, sets up Intal. Intal wasn't ready. T.Y. Tang will pull up from 15. Nothing there. Meyer Hopper is in the game for the first time. Aguilar goes high and in.
What athleticism displayed there by Japeth Aguilar.
Woo! I thought he was going to dunk it from there.
I thought he was going to do a Vince Carter move.
And that's an impact play right there that cuts the lead down to 1. Casio, the Ateneo killer, is in the ball game for the first time. Later fighting hard, but Cholo Villanueva in the ball game, getting his first retrieval at the 1-minute mark of this first quarter. Action all of a sudden picking up. They go inside to Benitez. Benitez shakes, picks, and gets it up and in.
Nice move by Benitez. Great footwork there to score his first 2 points here in the ball game.
Silences the crowd for a while. 11-8 is the score. Both teams jabbing and jabbing endlessly here in the first quarter. Tenorio fakes, sets up Later from 18. Swish!
That's an important basket for Ateneo. Every time Tenorio tries to drive, he will always attract the defense. So if he makes those kick-out passes, you have to make sure that you're going to knock it in.
JV from 15, thought about it. He has missed the 2 shots that he has taken. Membrere has Aguilar ahead of him. Aguilar has Casio. Membrere ends up with the ball, and there's a foul called on JV Casio. Casio did the right thing. He knew Japeth was going to put the ball down on the floor, so he went for the steal. But first, let's look at this shot by Aguilar. Look at the leverage of this guy, and then the finish. He may have lost the ball, but it's still a power move powered by new Revicon Ion Energy Drink, Kondisyon Ion.
Wow.
That takeoff is scary. If you master that takeoff, yung vertical leap na, yung tinatawag na kay Jordan dati na kiss the rim.
Oo.
Ganda nun. 7 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 11-10 is the score. Short on the 3 is Magnum. A second remaining in this first quarter, and LaSalle has not pulled away. And if you're Coach Norman Black, you like Ryan Aranya. Eman Nazareno in the ball game for Coach Norman Black for a little hustle. He's going up against Joseph Yo, who attempts the 3 off the back iron. And LA Tenorio, rather, getting his second rebound of the game.
I'm checking on the stats right now, Boom, especially in the first quarter. I thought Ateneo did a good job controlling, again, the turnovers that they've committed. They only turned the ball over 2 times, and they have not allowed De La Salle University to score off the turnovers. That's why now they're only down by 1 point.
Cause for concern, though, only 1 player holding that ball in that last sequence. Only LA Tenorio. Joseph Yo goes wild, but Rico Meyer Hopper, like a bunny, hopping for the rebound and the offensive putback.
That's really dangerous, Boom. Guys coming off the weak side to get those rebounds. Almost a turnover again.
Eman struggling to get a hold of that spheroid. He panicked and he fouls Cholo Villanueva. And that's the problem sometimes when you use a player who's not, and this is not a knock on him, but when you don't get that feel of the floor throughout the season and you're exposed to a situation like that, iba yung mental makeup mo sometimes.
May panic factor pa dyan especially yung ganitong everything is at stake.
Attic Mobile substitution, Attic Mobile prepaid, now you're in. Maki Escalona back in the ball game. Funny is his most challenging matchup is LA Tenorio. Sa practice yan. Nagpa-practice sila. Parang Jordan Scottie Pippen, sa practice.
Gagaling siya kung ganyan. Kasi good competition.
13-10. Second quarter, welcome to the show. The big show is the Final Four. LaSalle Ateneo in the first game, FEU UE in the second matchup. All happening over Studio 23 at the Big Dome. Boom Gonzalez, Coach Ryan Gregorio, glad to have you with us.
This has become a defensive game for Ateneo. As what I've been saying earlier, it's very important for them to establish their defense. But now, they're throwing the ball over.
Oh, what a fake! What a sensational move by Cholo Villanueva on the show and goal.
This has to be a very scary quarter for Ateneo. Imagine, if you remember, Boom, in game 1, they allowed LaSalle to score 30, and they've only scored 7. Also in this same quarter, the second quarter.
Let's go to Mickey Dennis with the Samsung courtside update. Mickey.
Interesting fact, for the first time in 8 years, Archer manager Terry Capistrano led the prayer just before the game, which just shows us how important this game is for them today. We are in a position to go all the way, Coach Vance told his boys, and take care of this chance. The Archers were told to have complete trust in each other out in the court, to regroup when necessary, and to use their heads. Stop dribbling and look for the pass, they were told. No one told you this would be easy, but you've come prepared and we have done our homework, they reminded. Let's go out there and enjoy our game. Boom.
Smart Buddy slow-mo showing the show-and-go move by Cholo Villanueva. The instant replay by Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. Coming up, or actually we are at the 8:02 mark of this second quarter. Highly competitive ball game between Ateneo and LaSalle. Ateneo with 2 turnovers here in the second quarter all of a sudden after having 2 in the whole of the first. So looking at the shot of the bench of the Blue Eagles. Try to go inside, and Later could not handle the pressure. Referees Garferio, Marabe, and Soriano with us today. Yes, Ryan.
In the first quarter, Coach Norman Black had a LA Tenorio and a JC Ental. So pretty much the offensive people or the players who will be the primary options on offense are pretty much predictable. Pero ngayon, parang nagsastruggle itong 5 ni Coach Norman on who and where to pass the ball, especially when the shot clock is winding down. That's why JC is coming in right now.
And that's why Eman Nazareno was in this ball game. Really, it's for defensive hustle, and he forced that error right there on 2 players. 10-second shot clock to work with if you're De La Salle University.
I'm sure Coach Norman and his staff scouted itong si JV Casio. That's why he's being guarded by Nazareno. Casio has averaged close to 14 in the first 2 games.
Excellent point there, Ryan. And then again, a turnover forced by the hustle of Eman Nazareno. You get anything from the offensive side from that guy, it's a bonus. But right now, what he's trying to do is provide that bleach-like defense on JV. Another risky pass, but Ateneo's able to hurdle. Japet stops. Maki goes back to Japet. Japet again. This time, they will call it. Earlier, he almost. But I think Rico Meyerhofer put a little acting into it. He tried again, but this time he was really bumped.
That's right. Japet is not yet used to it, rather. Meaning, siya yung primary option on offense. Kaya, if you put him on the weak side, getting offensive rebounds or finishing up fast breaks, okay. Pero yung ganyan, medyo naninibago pa siya.
Very clear on our Smart Buddy instant replay. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. The picks being set now for JV. Cholo Villanueva puts it on the floor, pulls up, yes! Off the bench, Cholo Villanueva providing the spark with 4 points, and the lead up to 7 as Ateneo again has hit a rut.
They have not scored yet here in this quarter. And
Nazareno.
they've been forcing Ateneo to struggle offensively.
Look at this, 10 seconds of the shot clock. They're still undecided on what to do. Mackey has the ball taken away by Joseph Yo. And that's why LA is getting ready to come back into the ball game. Joseph throws it up. Nothing there. Meyerhofer could not handle it. Possession will remain with LaSalle as we send it over to Leah Cruz for the Samsung courtside update.
One of the problems that Coach Norman Black cited in the huddle was that they can't seem to get a solid screen on LaSalle. He reminded his players to set their man up well. He also mentioned that they cannot let their defense down. That's how they're going to win this game. Yet they've got to get their offense going by taking good shots. All the boys are definitely feeling the intensity here, especially graduating players L.A. Tenorio, Magno Membrera, and Baji Del Rosario, who could very well be playing their last game.
Thank you very much, Leah Cruz. Well, those are the players that are graduating, but I want to go back to the point that she made, that she observed from Coach Norman Black. No solid pick set up for the guards.
That's right, and and compounded, of course, by the tremendous individual defense by these LaSalle players.
JC finally gets his first real goal of the game. And L.A. Tenorio lost the ball. Actually, it was Eman Nazareno who lost it. And Tenorio recovering. And Ateneo just becomes a different team when L.A. Tenorio is in that ball game.
Because all of a sudden, they have a legitimate threat who's handling the ball. And right now, those were the first 2 points by Ateneo and the first 2 points of JC and Tal also in the ball game.
On the third assist of L.A. Tenorio, who is facing Joseph Yo right now on defense, eludes him. Nazareno will not shoot. They have 10 on the shot clock. Intal against Benitez. Wants to take him off the dribble, but he gives it up. Tenorio all day for a three. Short. And the tap going to Benitez, and a foul is called probably on Kim Son as he was pushed to the floor.
The conditioning factor will be a concern right now for L.A. Tenorio and the rest of the Ateneo squad. LA is just holding the ball for so long.
Speaking of conditioning, look at this up and under move. The power move powered by new Revicon Ion Energy Drink. So it should be easier than usual. There you go, Alfonso Villarreal. Yan po ang ating Pure Foods TJ Hot Dog Lucky fans enjoying the UAP games live and enjoying the Pure Foods TJ Hot Dogs kids can tell. And regardless of whether his team is behind by 7, I got my hot dog. I don't care about anything else. Hanggat may kinakain. LaSalle with possession. Joseph Yo tries another one, rims out. And Nazareno is fouled by Cholo Villanueva.
All right, for many people who might be thinking, why is Nazareno inside? He's doing all the other things, meaning he's screening off, he's getting the defensive rebounds, and more importantly, he's defending pretty well that the point guards of LaSalle seem to have a hard time to score, specifically JV Casio, who's out right now without scoring a basket.
Although he's coming back in a bit, Martin Kimson looking for somebody to bail him out. Tenorio shoots the three! And he waited for Joseph Yo to come to him. He gets the foul, and he will take 3 free throws. Point of concern, Ryan, for Ateneo. They only had 2 turnovers rather the first quarter. Here in the second, they already have 5, and we have 5 minutes to play still.
It's a huge turnaround from the first quarter to the second quarter. It all happened when L.A. Tenorio and JC Intal simultaneously hit the bench. So the guys who came off the bench were not ready for the press. So that was exactly the time that LaSalle pounced on the inefficiency of the Ateneo team to break the press. So now that LA is back, JC is back, bumalik na ulit yung semblance ng team offense or the system that Coach Norman Black wants to install in this team.
Tenorio had 4 points in the first quarter. He has 2 more gift shots from the 15th parallel line. This might be dangerous. He might be able to get that stroke from that area. He has 3 assists, 3 steals, 4 rebounds, 2 out of 6 from the 2-point area, nothing from downtown. 3 attempts so far, and good 3 out of 3 for L.A. Tenorio. I'm also looking at those numbers. You know, this might be the last time we see LA on the UAP floor, so it'd be nice to watch out for those numbers.
This is hard to believe, Boom. I'm checking on the stats. Game 1 and Game 2. it is just this ball game that LA Tenorio has not scored from beyond the 3-point line. He's 0 out of 9 so far in the first 2 games included
against LaSalle. He really has it hard and tough against LaSalle, doesn't he? They swing it to LA. Strokes the three.
Whoa.
As we said, he got the touch from the free throw line and he gets it to go from downtown.
He's just taking so many shots and it's falling in right now. So because of the number of shots, he will definitely get his stroke back.
10 points now for LA. He is looking ahead, looking for JC, looking for something to happen on the offensive side. Finds Nazareno. Nazareno creates space for himself. Nothing there. Cabatu with his 6th rebound of the game. Joseph Yo has been quiet here in the second. Not anymore. And he looks at France and says, "Wag mo muna akong palitan." So they recall si Barua.
Tama yun. Ang galing mo. Eh, maganda nga naman. That might also be the spark that has been waiting for.
A left-handed shot. Intal has been a non-factor here in the game. Magnum throws it up, rims out, and Cabatu taps it to the Ninja. The Ninja looking to accelerate. They go to JV. Nazareno is on him, serving him a facial. But G. Del Rosario also getting ready to come in. Cabatu, pull-up jumper, out. And LA with the easy repossession. And then, the 3-minute mark of this second quarter, he settles down the troops. Looks for the roadblock. Tenorio for the 3. Gets it to go!
This is an LA Tenorio show, and we're all witnessing how this man can really turn things around for his team.
You do remember the 25-point outburst that he had against FEU, 23 in the second half. Joseph Yo misses everything. Meyerhofer has it deflected, gets it back, puts it up, and gets the foul. Action picking up here in the second quarter as LA Tenorio scoring 4 points in the first quarter and 9 points in the second, punctuated by a smart money 3, the #1 prepaid service in the country, shooting 27% from beyond the arc. He caps off an 11-2 run here in the second. Back in a moment. Quarter, 9 points, 11-2 run. Meyerhofer unable to kick in that free throw, and we said that, you know, the last 2 games against LaSalle, he has struggled. It might be his final game. You put it all out on the table, Ryan.
That's right. Just look at the numbers versus LaSalle and against the others here in this league, but definitely it's not the same situation right now for LA Tenorio. He has scored 6 points, both from the 3-point area, so it's no longer gonna be 0 out of 10. It's now at least 2 out of 17 for LA Tenorio from beyond the 3.
And he tied the ball game for the first time earlier at 21 all. Now it's 22-21. That's a poor pass by Baji Del Rosario, who just came in fresh here in the ball game.
Mainly for defensive purposes once again. Coach Norman Black just expects JV Casio to really set some tone on the offensive system of LaSalle by mere scoring. So now he is a hounded man.
And what a fake by JV. He lets it fly, but Baji recovering just in time. What a ploy by Coach Norman Black, huh? LA again! Able to get it up and in the face of Rico Meyerhofer. When he wants to play, there are a few people who can stop him. Cabatu fading away, short. And Kimson with a rebound. Ateneo with the lead, its first lead of the ballgame, 23-22. Tenorio is 1 out of 5 from the field. Joseph Yo hounding LA Tenorio. LA against the double, does not panic, they recover. JC drives, sends it over to Magnum. who loses the ball to the baseline.
Because of the brilliance of LA Tenorio, especially here in the second quarter, now LaSalle is trying to double him and forcing him to make the extra pass. It's really up for the other four guys who's playing alongside Tenorio right now to live up to the expectations and score, just to make sure that the LaSalle's defense will pay big time because of the kind of defense that they're doing against LA.
Well, we're down to 50 seconds here in the second quarter. Ateneo with the lead. Casio free for a three. Nothing there, but he will keep on trying, and they will keep on executing. You can bet your money on that.
And they've been setting up JV Casio to launch that shot from off screens or even spot-up jumpers, but because of the defense, he has not yet rang the bell.
Reminiscent of Ren Ritualo. JC is hacked. And a brilliant crossover move by the Rocket. Finally, somebody other than LA driving to the basket, and Gary Leasing enjoying the action as always. Haven't seen him a lot here in season 68 compared to the previous years. But now, yes, he is here in attendance. It is a big game, probably the final game for Ateneo. They did have a 7-game winning streak in season 68, but that will all go for naught if they don't at least extend this series. And I'm sure you wouldn't mind if they did.
Oh, yes.
Although the LaSalle fans would. They don't want to be in that situation of having to beat Ateneo again. You know, the only thing I feel that's working for Ateneo going into this game, Ryan, the law of averages.
That's right.
Diba, no?
That's right.
Can you beat Ateneo 3 times in a row? Yes, you can, but in this season, that's a question that we are about to answer.
And not if LA Tenorio can do something about it as well. Obviously, he's trying to stop that 3-0 run, at least of LaSalle here this season.
JV is pounced on and loses the ball. They have a second. LA puts it up! No! That would have been an incredible fiery finish to this first half. Final four action here at the Big Dome. Yes, third quarter is underway with the score now at 25-24 after J.R. Aquino was able to get it up and in. Intal looking to be more aggressive here in the second half, but just could not find the hole. But you've got to keep on trying if you're JC.
Oh, definitely, especially now that the adjustment on the part of Coach Franz Umaren is put the cuffs on the LA Tenorio. JC should be available. He should step forward and say, I'm willing to take the challenge and score and lead this team to the next level, which is the finals.
Now the lead is back to LaSalle, and Aranya again bothering JC, and it's getting into his head. 26-25, it's always imperative for either team, or any team for that matter, as you look at that wonderful floater by Joseph Yo, to start the quarter strong.
Oh yes, in the third quarter, LaSalle has scored already 4 points, so erased the 3-point deficit they had at the end of 2 quarters. And now, Joseph Yo seeing a wide open lane towards the basket and knocking it in.
Seeing red is more like it, or seeing blue, as he kicks the lead up to 3 again. 28-25. Yo with 4 points here in the third. If you look at this game, Ryan, actually the quarters, the start, have been really LaSalle quarters. The first, the second, and the third. Kaya lang may konting finishing kick itong Ateneo so far.
Totoo yun.
Yo attempts the 3. Kramer has also been a non-factor. This is a problem for Norman Black. He has only 1 rebound and no points so far for Doug Kramer, who is averaging 9.3 points and close to 9 rebounds a game. A close double-double for Doug Kramer, but now he is non-existent so far.
Well, it has been the ploy of Coach Norman Black, as seen in the first 2 quarters, to let LA Tenorio run the show. If LA decides to shoot, then he will shoot. So the options of Doug Kramer are pretty much limited. He will just get defensive rebounds or hustle boards. Those are the only things he can score in today's game.
Well, I have to add also that Doug Kramer committed 2 personal fouls early in the game, so that might be a factor. In the meantime, a delivery to Martin Camson, one of the candidates for assist of the game, delivered by KFC. Escalona comes into the ball game now. I think he replaces Magno Membrere right away. Rico Meyerhofer for Ryan Aranya. Aranya with 3 personal fouls A little bit of a wrinkle on the shirt of Coach Franz Kumarin. Larry Fournier, the former King Eagle, in the foreground. The background is Rich Alvarez, his former partner. Not only here, but in the BBL, nagkasama rin sila. And now this is a good sign for Intal. He knocks down both. Might get his form from the free throw line. Intal takes it away from Tang, but Aquino picks it up. Meyerhofer flies. J.R. Aquino takes it from everybody. And Kramer says enough is enough, but he swings an elbow.
Aided, of course, by a little acting job on the part of Rico Meyerhofer, but this is going to be costly, especially on the rotation of Coach Norman Black, the big man's rotation specifically. Doug Kramer got a good defensive rebound. He swung that shoulder of his. Might have gotten away with a little acting job with Rico Meyerhofer, but the ball will definitely remain.
Yeah. Caught on our Smart Buddy instant replay. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. So that's why Doug cannot get this game going. Ryan, that is his third foul. Mackey does not protect the ball, and Yo with the semi-dunk gets the lead up again. It's 30-29. Mackey hounded by Joseph, and a foul called on the Ninja, who was willing to give it up.
But still, I like the energy that LaSalle is displaying here at the start of the third quarter. This is definitely their game, forcing turnovers and finishing it off with a bang.
Again, caught on our Smart Buddy instant replay. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. JC. The change of direction. Kabatu on Intal. Goes to Kramer. Kramer against triple team. Still no go for Doug. Let's go to Mickey Dellis for a Samson courtside update. Mickey.
After the usual halftime conference in the dugout, the Archers gathered themselves together as a team without the coaches. Joseph Yo, Archer captain, took this opportunity to showcase his leadership by giving his teammates words of encouragement for this half. They may have been frustrated with the outcome of the first half, but they also have a great sense of determination. This quarter is a very important quarter for the Archers. The team spoke of their inner power, which is that no matter what, they will tirelessly find ways to take it all. Boom.
Thank you very much, Mickey. Rico Meyerhofer able to slam it home, and this fast break brought to you by Milo. Drink Milo every day. Meyerhofer throws it down and gives them a 3-point lead of 32-29. You know, Ateneo has done a good job getting in. They just could not put in the shot. As we look at Japet Aguilar, check back in on our Addict Mobile substitution board. Addict Mobile prepaid, now you're in. I'm tired, Ryan. I'm tired.
That's right. I'm looking at least the first few attempts of Ateneo. L.A. Tenorio was not getting the needed attempts or the number of attempts that he took in the first two quarters. Now the other guys are taking advantage, especially LaSalle. They're taking advantage of the missed shots by the other Ateneo players.
Yes.
The problem is really for Ateneo is that they're allowing LaSalle to score off the fast breaks. And this is exactly where LaSalle gets their momentum.
Tang pulls out. Tang also a non-factor on offense, at least for LaSalle. Kabatu pulls up. Kabatu has not found the stroke. Ateneo with 3 turnovers already here. The 4 turnover points by LaSalle. Tenorio against Joseph Yo. Tenorio shoots the 3 off the back iron, and Meyerhofer comes away with a repossession, his 6th of the ball game. Yo getting into traffic. Intal takes it away, loses it though, and is fouled by Rico Meyerhofer.
East Ateneo is getting the missed shots, even the turnovers back, but still they're looking.
Araneta Coliseum for more of the third quarter between Ateneo and LaSalle. They have not taken care of that leather so far here in the third. Slow start for the Blue Eagles. They're behind by 3. They go back to their main man. Mackey spinning and traveling.
Mackey has not been a factor here. He's having trouble just bringing the ball down from the backcourt to their front court. And on the other hand, ito naman si Joseph Yo. Look at the points he scores every time they win and the numbers every time they lose. So the barometer for this LaSalle team is Joseph Yo. And today, he has 11 points to show across his name.
Well, he is the captain of the De La Salle University. As we check out who else, Japet Aguilar with a little bit of help of JC Intal and a Polo shot block brought to you by Polo. Life's a whole lot cooler with Polo. 5-minute mark of this third quarter. JC back to LA. LA setting up Intal. Intal with a couple of fakes, no foul. Japet puts it up and in just in time.
First 2 points here in the third quarter for Japet Aguilar. And again, Ateneo is back to what they've done in the first 2 quarters. Allow LR Tenorio to do something on their offense.
Joseph Yo again knowing what he should do when it goes up against Japet Aguilar. Go hard, go strong. Don't worry about getting blocked. And a guy who is as shifty as Joseph Yo, the perfect match. He can go right, don't go left. He can finish right or left.
Yes.
Mr. Daniel Jose, of course, of De La Salle University. Dr. Ricardo Matibag of the UAAP board. Mr. Ricky Palu also with us. Technical committee. All joining us here at the Araneta Coliseum. Mr. Ramoncito Campos also of De La Salle.
Kiko Diaz, of course, from the University of the Philippines. Bago ron kay Mr. Campos.
All with us here at the Blue Eagle Gym. 4:40 and a 2-point lead for De La Salle. But G. Del Rosario back in the ball game. Tenorio, a hop, skip, and a jump, but that's short. It was deflected by J.R. Aquino. Joseph Yo, the man for De La Salle here in the third. Oh, he forced that one, but he gets it up and in again.
What a very smart play. He knew he could not elude those arms of Japet Aguilar, so what he did was just to throw it off the board. He exactly knew where it was going to bounce down, so he just took that second chance opportunity. Problems, problems, problems. Hounding Ateneo right now. Press break. The ultimate question is, can they break it? And LaSalle has been doing wonders defensively here in the third quarter.
5 turnovers here in the third quarter for Ateneo. 2 only for LaSalle. But G. Del Rosario committed that last one as he just checked in. You know who hasn't come in for Ateneo? Ken Baracoso.
Ken Baracoso, that's right. But this is bad news. T.Y. Tang knocking it in from the outside. And again, the biggest lead, at least here in the third quarter for LaSalle, a 6-point lead for them. They enjoyed a lead earlier in the second. 9 points was the biggest lead of the white shirt.
Another turnover for Ateneo. Joseph puts it up. Oh! Hubbard for the slammer jammer. And LaSalle is rocking right now. 39-31. Another turnover, and Yo has been the man.
Timeout is imperative for Coach Norman Black. This is really the run that
See, key stat, 8 turnovers in the third quarter for Ateneo. 14 turnover points for LaSalle to 0 of Ateneo. That is what is killing them right now, as field goals are also not a bright spot for the Blue Eagles. They are 2 out of 9 after that shot.
Well, LaSalle just took a lot more attempts here in the third quarter because of the number of turnovers that Ateneo has committed. But when things start to flow, even the guys who are not used to scoring will deliver, as shown by J.R. Aquino there.
Adrenaline na rin to,
Yun.
Coach, which is something that Ateneo desperately needs, right, Leah? Let's go to her for our Samsung courtside update. Leah Cruz.
Blue Eagles have gotten off to an unorganized start rather, here in the third quarter. Coach Norman Black wants the boys to stay organized and to set the play up when things aren't going well. I don't want to see us lose control of the game. During halftime, he talked about coming up with even more energy, helping out on the boards and attacking LaSalle's press. The Eagles are definitely not happy with LaSalle's recent run, and we're pumping each other up in the last huddle. Boom.
Thank you very much. Well, you got to do what you've got to do in this game, as Tenorio now is trying to get this team back And he draws the foul. He scored earlier. Yo has 18 points and 4 rebounds. Tenorio with 17 and 6. That has been the matchup between the Ninja and downtown LA. Joseph Yo and our Smart Buddy instant replay. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid. Coach France, of course, looking for his 7th finals appearance, his 6th overall, and if he wins today, that is 110 wins in the UAAP.
Wow.
That's all you can say, really.
But I was talking about during the halftime break, the fatigue factor. And LA Tenorio just mopped 2 gift shots.
Pagod na, no?
15 points in the first 2 quarters and only 2 here. And what I expect really from the other guys, specifically guys like JC Intal and itong si Doug Raymer, is to help out in the scoring department. It was a different game plan in the first 2 quarters for Coach Norman. He can get away with putting 2 or 3 defensive players because LA Tenorio was just unstoppable offensively. But now I think he has to mix it up. He has to put in good offensive players combined with defensive prowess who can stop the onslaught of Joseph Yo.
That's a foul, and you know, Membrere just put it in, and he's trying to pump up the Ateneo side. LA also talking to him. That's a 3-point play opportunity for Magnum Membrere. Now the thing here is you don't want to be buried by LaSalle because they're very good in terms of protecting leads as Casio fouls him. And a Smart Buddy instant replay shown to you. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. LaSalle doesn't really relinquish a lot of leads, especially against Ateneo. And Membrere completes the 3-point play opportunity. If Ateneo loses, they go home. It's as simple as that. And LaSalle goes to the finals. Tang, eluding everybody, slipping and sliding in traffic, and puts it up and in.
Just too many points inside the paint for LaSalle. Now you begin to wonder, where are the help side defenders? Everybody are just concerned stopping their own man. But what if he gets beaten? Now you miss the presence of Japet Aguilar inside.
4 points for Tang, 4 points for Meyerhofer, 4 for J.R. Aquino, all here in the third. And of course, the main man is Joseph Yo, who is fouled there by Zion Later.
Well, the open court has been the domain of LaSalle this season. And once you give them opportunities to score inside the paint and pounce on the absence of Japet Aguilar, they will be unstoppable. Just take a look at this. T.Y. Tang.
Look at him maneuver through traffic.
Presence. But the problem really is that Ateneo is playing LaSalle's game. They're also trying to push the ball, trying to speed up. But you don't want that if you're going up against LaSalle. You just do not want to go with the flow, and the intensity and the energy factor really is pointing in the direction of LaSalle. It's really up for Ateneo now to control the tempo of the ball game. If they do that, they might break the momentum of LaSalle.
This is the first time that Ateneo doesn't finish strong in the quarter so far in this game. You know, LaSalle, when you talk about the personality and the story of this team, this whole season,
right.
68, even going back to last year, they've always been about pacing and just shifting gears at the right moment. They do it in a season, they also do it within the game, they're doing it right now.
That's right.
And here they go again, trying to get the ball from Ateneo.
The passing lanes are always covered, so the denial defense of this LaSalle players is just working magnificently for them. So the read, really, as far as the offensive player is concerned for Ateneo, if the defensive player tries to deny you, go backdoor. It is a mental lapse for Doug Raymer.
Yes, that's obviously
unforgivable, Boom, at this point.
Focus is just not there. This game is eating up in the heads of the Ateneo players. Look at that, that's very clear.
Yes.
Smart Buddy instant replay again. Smart Buddy, the #1 prepaid service in the country. Tang will put up the 3. Ball is loose. It's away, and Benitez with the recovery. 35 seconds remaining as you look at the domination of LaSalle inside. And T.Y. Tang has found the stroke here in the third, and LaSalle is threatening to break this game wide open.
This is where LaSalle is at its most dangerous. If they score inside the paint, they will get their confidence from the perimeter as well. They will be unstoppable.
The confusion on the defensive end, but they were able to recover. 6 on the shot clock, 7 on the game clock. Where are they going? Mambreres throws up the 3, that's short, and that pretty much sums up the effort of Ateneo here in the third quarter. It has been short. While 4 quarter to go for Ateneo and LaSalle, will it be the last 10 minutes of Ateneo for season 68? Third quarter, they'd rather forget it. They were outscored 28-11, and 11 points for Ateneo in that third quarter. They were outscored by Joseph Yo on his own. 14 third quarter points for Joseph Yo, and the turnovers continue to pile up for the guys in blue.
The players are struggling. These are the players who might not have enough exposure during the regular season or playing a lot of minutes today.
Right, that's our Jack and Jill fantastic moment. Life is fun. Well, they've got to believe that they can come back. It's a 14-point deficit, biggest lead for LaSalle in the game. And turnovers, as we hate to sound like a broken record, but again, it's our job to do so, Ryan. And that is the #1 stat that really killed Ateneo in the third. And, you know, they may have been able to control JV Castro with the presence of Eman Nazareno and even Baji Del Rosario, but they were not able to contain J.R. Aquino, T.Y. Tang, and even Cholo Villanueva now.
They were not able to break the press boom. That has been the story of these two teams, and LaSalle really taking advantage, especially in the third quarter. Turnover points, the story in the first 2 quarters, LaSalle scoring only 4. The result, 25-22 at the end of 25-22 at the end of 2 quarters, advantage Ateneo. But in the third quarter, Ateneo threw the ball over 9 times, and they've allowed 16 turnover points. The result, 28-11. Advantage LaSalle. So that is the story again. Turnovers plus turnover points.
And the sidebar in that story was a Joseph Yo quarter. If the second quarter was an LA Tenorio quarter, Joseph Yo coming alive. 14 third quarter points for Joseph Yo, who's on the bench right now. 19 all in all. He knows he's going to come back. And there's that finishing kick of LaSalle. FEU and UE waiting in the wings for their Final Four matchup. FEU with the twice-to-beat advantage in that set 2, which will be all brought to you in Studio 23 in a bit. In the meantime, Cholo Villanueva again. And whose ball is it? It's Ateneo ball. Aranya now back in the ball game for the birthday boy, T.Y. Tang, who gets a much-deserved, a well-deserved applause. Great effort in the third. And speaking of effort, you gotta be worried about JC and Tal. Only 6 points in 25 minutes, 1 out of 6 from the field. Mackie Escalona, they have 5 on the shot clock. They find Kramer underneath and is pushed by Ryan Aranya. Let's check out Mickey Dellas for a Samsung courtside update. Mickey.
One thing is for sure, the Archers have to stay aggressive. Tenorio is expected to be very aggressive this quarter, so they're reminded to contest all passing lanes, and especially to contain LA when he comes in, and the rest of the Ateneo shooters. Emotions are mounting, and we can feel the pressure move. See, I'm losing my words, but more important than all the strategies are Coach Fran's words. I have complete trust in you. No egos, all team, all heart. That's the name of their game, and the kind of game Coach wants them to play these final minutes. Boom.
It is not often that we see Mickey Dellas lose composure. Coming up the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter, well, everybody's allowed those things here in the UAAP, especially with an incredible ball game like this, a pulsating one. The lead is still 14 for LaSalle. Time becoming an ally of the Green Archers. Under 8 minutes to play, they go underneath to Membrere. Fouled and hacked by Meyerhofer. Earlier, Ryan Aranya collected his 4th personal foul, and that is Meyerhofer's 3rd.
Magnum is just letting it all hang out in today's
last year, right?
This is his last year, yes. After this, if they drop this one, talagang this will be a sad story for the Ateneo team. But there's still a lot of time left. 7-4-7. They're only down by 13. Definitely, time is still of the essence, of course, but it's not impossible. Yun ang sinasabi ko. For Coach Norman Black, it's really for the players who are graduating. Magnum, itong si LA Tenorio, of course. Coach Baji Del Rosario, of course, Coach Norman is expecting them to really play their hearts out in the last few minutes of this quarter.
The worst case scenario for Ateneo, Ryan, if they lose this, is they end up third place in the tournament, which is an improvement from last year. But why does it feel like it's such a huge disappointment? Is it because it's up against LaSalle and they have not been able to win against LaSalle if they lose this game? Is that part of it?
I think that's the biggest factor.
Okay.
They were not able to redeem themselves. They've lost via convincing fashion, of course, by an average, to be exact, 18 points per ball game in the first two games. This is pretty much their chance to redeem some lost glory. But at the rate things are going, LaSalle is not giving it to Ateneo.
They're not done yet. Things are falling literally the way of LaSalle as Benitez able to get that ball to stay down. You know, the last 6 points of Ateneo have come via the 15th parallel line through Magnum Membrere. 6 points from the free throw line. You have to question, not question, but wonder now, how long is LA going to stay on the bench, Ryan?
Well, in the third quarter, it was pretty much predictable. The offensive set of Ateneo was predicated on the movements of LA Tenorio. So all LaSalle did was double team LA Tenorio, and the other players were not up to the task of scoring. So right now, at least all the 5 guys, LaSalle cannot predict who's going to score. So LA, Magnum Membrere and JC Intal, and even Doug Kramer now has an opportunity to score.
Now Rico Meyerhofer drew the foul from Japet Aguilar, his 4th personal. Meyerhofer just going under Japet to draw that one, as LA Tenorio now is at the last 6 minutes and 17 of his stellar UAAP career. A year that he was, there were rumors that he wasn't supposed to play this year. He was courted. Norman Black took over. He was very happy that LA decided to play one more year. But is it the last 6 minutes and 17 of the LA Tenorio show?
Make no mistake about it, folks. This is really the time for LA Tenorio to wear his Superman jersey and bring his team back. They're down by 12 points at this point. With LA Tenorio at the helm, again, the word is impossible. Is it impossible? No, it can be done. LA Tenorio can do it for his team.
You see that picture of that little girl crying? She knows what's at stake. She knows what they're about to lose if they lose today. And LA Tenorio says, I'm not done yet, Bullman Ryan. Just give me a chance here.
Well, the third quarter, I saw him pop and pop a little, but now he was given 4 minutes of rest by Coach Norman Black, and is back to his normal form.
Yo wants to take it back, and he gets it to go. Joseph Yo looking at the Ateneo crowd, and LA Tenorio is limping, Ryan. Cramps, I think. Ang tigas ng calf muscle niya. You know, LA Tenorio has a history of cramps. He does have a history of cramps, Ryan.
When I saw him go flat out in the first quarter, the first thing that quickly entered my mind was the conditioning factor, and we've been talking about that all game long. Now, it's taking its toll right now. LA Tenorio is still languishing on the floor, and you were correct. We've seen games in the PBL wherein he suffered from cramps in the fourth quarter. Now, sad to say, unfortunately for the Ateneo diehards, their #1 player is still on the floor.
And I see Joseph Yo getting sprayed, his legs, not his hair, but his legs are getting sprayed right now, and LA cannot seem to get up from the hard court. First, let's look at our Canon Power Shot of the game, brought to you by Canon, delighting you always. Wow, a picture-perfect move by Japet Aguilar. Gano siya kalayo dito sa ring. He made that shot, by the way, for those of you who just tuned in. LA is picked up now. Parang naninigas talaga yung calf muscle.
A sad development and a sad ending here in the illustrious career of L.A. Tenorio.
Well,
He pushed himself to the limit, Boom, in the first
And
two
you
quarters.
can't blame
He
him.
never paced himself. Yes.
but you can't blame him. You can't blame effort, you know. Huling taon, maaaring huling laro. And it's up against your arch rivals in the Final Four. You got to give it your best. And now it might just be a rallying point for the rest of the Blue Eagles as they have cut the lead down to 10 once again on back-to-back threes. Now Membrere taking one. Yo attacking. Up. And a foul called on an Ateneo player. When Joseph Yo goes up like that, something exciting is bound to happen.
But big-time players show up in big games. Joseph Yo really giving a good name about himself. He has scored 22 points already. How will you stop a Joseph Yo? If he starts to make his three-point shot, nobody can beat him off the dribble. He's got great first step, and he's got a better finish. He can finish with his left and his right hand. Now, his defenders have huge problems. How to stop Joseph Yo at this point, now that he is in the zone.
Intal called for a second personal. Joseph Yo, 23 points.
And has been carrying it on the scoring cudgels. Really, Coach Franz Pumaren just pushing the right button and the right words to say to motivate Joseph Yo to play as huge as this in the most important game this season for them.
Came to play. There's no doubt about it. JC Intal. To Escalona, under 5 minutes remaining. Intal sidestepping. It has not been a good day for JC, Ryan. He has struggled from the field.
The pressure might just be too heavy for these two players. They're all expected to really rise to the challenge. I'm talking about JC and LA. LA is down with cramps. JC has struggled all game long in today's ball.
Aranya now with a three. That's a big one. A huge three from Ryan Aranya, who shoots 20% from that.
To really give a huge boost on this LaSalle rampage, especially in the third.
You know, Ryan, if Ateneo loses this ball game, we can go back to the start of the third quarter.
Oh yes.
That's where it all happened for LaSalle. Cranking it up when it mattered. But we still have time. 4 minutes, 16. Let's go to Leah Cruz for a Samson courtside update. Thank you, Leah.
This might very well be my last report for the season, Boom and Ryan, so I might as well smile. If the Ateneo Blue Eagles have got to go down, they're definitely going to go down fighting. However, truly, we never really know now, do we? I think I echo the guys on the team and the entire Ateneo community here when I say that we still believe. Well, it's been a pleasure working with you, and here's to an amazing season.
I hate goodbyes. Don't say that.
It's too early, Leah. There's no chance.
They're early.
I just feel for Coach Norman Black.
I feel for Leah Cruz.
I feel for Leah too. Is holding back her tears right now.
Yeah, she's on the verge, I suppose. And she wants to go out with a smile. I have to say, a wonderful smile. All right, let me say something to make her feel better. Under 4 minutes, this is just 11 points. And you know what? I'll be the first one to say I have seen stranger things happen.
Oh yes.
In the UAAP, or in all the leagues that I have covered too.
And you just cannot give up on the pride of this Ateneans, Boom. They simply, definitely will refuse to lose. And Coach Norman Black, I thought, did a tremendous job for this team. There were not much expectations, especially when they lost 2 of their first 3 games. But they've ranked up pretty much like the longest streak this season, close to 7 games.
7, actually.
Winning
they match
streak.
FEU's winning streak.
But Boom, I hate to say this, if they look at this season, they will only look at one game, the USD game. Had they won that, they would have gotten that second seed and a twice-to-beat advantage.
3:25 remaining. 65-52. Just imagine the beer conversations later on tonight.
Oh, yes. Babalikan mo lahat yan, Boom, eh.
Joseph Yo with an impossible shot over Jonathan Aguilar, and he says it's over. He gives the sign that it's over. The Ninja has scored 26 points. And what a time for him to score the big numbers. He scored 30 against NU, 28 against USD, and today, the Final Four game, 26, and under 3 minutes to play, Joseph Yo is the man. You know, that's the only way to attack Japet Aguilar. You go up and then you have to execute an undershot. You know, Bonbon Custodio did it over Japet Aguilar the other day, the wraparound shot. Mackie will shoot the three. That's short. What you saw earlier, by the way, was L.A. Tenorio on the floor. He was crying. I don't think he's coming back in this game. Now he's back on the bench, but I think the spirits are broken. I saw Baji shake the hand of L.A. These are two players who are now graduating and are not returning together with Magno Membrere for Ateneo, and this has got to be such an emotional moment for them.
Wow. Again, a tribute to the program of LaSalle. This will be their 12th trip in the last 10, 13 years, Boom.
Last 2 minutes brought to you by Samsung. With Samsung, it's not hard to imagine.
And I'm sure my LaSalle friends, Colin Rodriguez and Chito Arwega, are very happy with this impending victory of this De La Salle University.
I will repeat what I said at the top of the coverage, the pregame. LaSalle, since 1994, has had since 1994 has had the twice-to-beat advantage 9 out of 11 times. And they never relinquished that. So make that 10 out of 12 and a 100% batting average for LaSalle with a twice-to-beat advantage.
A lot of things have been said to the greatness of Franz Pumaren as the leader of this team, and also to his assistants, si Jack Santiago, to Nietzsche Eturi. But not much has been mentioned about the trainer, Dan Roseboom. He has been the factor, the biggest factor in the conditioning of this team.
Yes.
And you just have to give credit
What
when
a
credit
moment.
is due.
What a moment. Joseph Yo going back to the finals. Franz Pumaren looking for his 6th championship and 7th finals appearance. Let's give you our best play brought to you by Samsung. With Samsung, it's not hard to imagine. And it's definitely not hard to imagine when you have Joseph Yo executing circus shots like that. Coach Franz Pumaren going for his 110th win in the UAAP, and it seems like he's not stopping. He wants it at 112, Ryan. He wants it at 112. But this year is over. And may I just reply to Leah that it was also a pleasure working with her. 40 seconds remaining. This game and this score does not reflect how the game was played, Ryan. Look at Magno Membrere. He's just kicking from downtown. He's just shooting. It's his last game for the UAAP and for Ateneo. Magno Membrere is not giving up. He's still shooting away. But the lead might be. They say during the Ateneo LaSalle matches, you throw away the numbers, you throw away statistics. But Ryan, as an analyst and as a coach, you cannot deny the numbers. 21 turnovers for Ateneo, 12 only for LaSalle. 24 turnover points for LaSalle, 6 only for Ateneo. 13 offensive rebounds, 12 second chance points, all in favor of LaSalle. As we also look at this assist that bested them all. What a delivery by Yo to Meyerhofer. The assist of the game delivered by KFC. KFC also delivers what you're craving for. Just dial KFC delivery at 887-8888.
Well, going back to your point, I thought Ateneo did a decent job in the first 2 quarters, watching their turnovers and the way they allowed only 4 turnover points. But the thing is, they became complacent right after the halftime break. They were a different team altogether once again, while for LaSalle, that was the quarter where they bounced on the hapless Ateneo squad. You've mentioned it, 28-11. Pretty much, that was the turning point of this ball game. The third quarter onslaught of De La Salle.
14 of that 28 points coming from Joseph Yo. L.A. Tenorio, the story, 25-22 was the lead at halftime, with L.A. scoring huge bunch of points, 11 in the third quarter for 15 all in all. In the first half, in the second quarter rather, 15 all in all in the first half. Joseph Yo, our best player of the game, brought to you by Gatorade. There's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for themselves, and I think Yo is, well, he's joking in front of Ryan Aranya right now. They're joking, they're teasing Ryan Aranya to dance again. I don't think he wants to get another technical.
nag-iba na yung persona nito si Ryan Aranya. Medyo naging meek and humble siya in today's ball game.
He usually is. When you get to talk to him, he is. It's when he's on the court that he becomes ferocious. And Yo sends it out to Aranya. Franz Buaren and the rest of LaSalle will, when it comes to the head-to-head, will become 33-20. LaSalle leading. Franz Buaren's record against LaSalle's 18-9, against Ateneo rather 18-9, and in the postseason 7-4. If you're, one of those number addicts and you want to jot that down, your information. But Gene Del Rosario earlier on your screens graduates from Ateneo. Coach Norman Black, his first year for Ateneo, 7-game winning streak was the highlight of season 68 for him. A rough start, but LaSalle, and again, the story of this team, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we talk about LaSalle as Ken Baracosa did not see the floor today. You talk about LaSalle finishing strong, not only in the game, but also in the season.
Oh yes, 4-3 in the first round, 6-1 in the second round. What more can you ask for? While on the other hand, ito namang Ateneo, another disappointing season for them. If they look at the situation we're in, they were not able to go to the finals, but still, Coach Norman Black, as I've mentioned earlier, did wonders for this team. When you take a look at the lineup of Ateneo, nobody will think that they will end up third place, but they've done that, and it is just an improvement of what they have accomplished last year.
The last shot, fittingly, back to Membrere, shooting his last attempt for his UAAP career. But for the De La Salle Green Archers, Joseph Yo and the rest of the gang, they will march to another finals appearance. And they will try to defend a crown that they've held